Good morning. Hi. It is another writing and reading day today. Actually, mostly a reading day for me. I have got an editorial meeting in a few minutes with my new editors. I have just moved from HarperCollins for my historical fiction, and I've moved to Lake Union, which is a division of Amazon, and they are sort of putting together structural edit notes for me, which I've already got, and I've just been reading through these. I've got about 8 or so pages of huge notes to go through, and they're all sort of things like making my character's backstory better, making the things they do a little bit more sort of believable, and kind of what are their motivations, why have they come back home. I'm just about to, well, this is book 1 of a new series that I'm doing for Lake Union, which is the publisher that I'm with, and I'm really excited to kind of have a meeting with them in a second and just see, you know, anything in the notes that may or may not make sense, and just to kind of talk through everything. So I'm just gonna familiarise myself with everything that's in here. I've got a present day section and I've got a past day section, which is what I kind of generally tend to normally do. I think all my books, my historical fiction books, are dual narrative, so a bit in the past, a bit in the present, other than the Hidden Letters, which is my only standalone just a pure historical novel. So that is what I'm doing this morning. And then once we've had the meeting, I am going to go and take in all the information that we've had. We're having a meeting on Zoom actually in a few minutes. I've not got long. And then yeah, I'm going to go off, take the dogs for a walk, and kind of chew over the cud. There's also a lovely museum where I live, a little fishing village I live in, and it's a really lovely little old world museum. So I'm going to go in there and have a mooch around. They allow dogs, and just yeah, let all my notes and my chat with my editors percolate, and then yeah, I'll come back. All right, I'm just going to get on this meeting in a second and actually just read through these notes really quickly one more time. Okay, I've just come off my meeting with my lovely editors at Lake Union. There's 2 of them. They're both called Victoria, which is really lovely, very easy to remember. So we've just been talking through all the notes that they both sent through, and if I had any queries, which I generally don't tend to have. I really love structural, do I love structural edits? I don't love structural edits. I realise they're a necessary part of what we do. So it's kind of the things that are always being asked of me pretty much with every book is to strengthen my characters' motivations and to just really sort of delve into their backstory and make their backstory something that informs the way they are now, and how can we make them better as the novel goes on. How can we make the things that happened to them in the past, how can we make that affect them now, and how can we resolve that so they've grown as a character, not just with the things that are happening around them, but their thought processes as well. And that is the thing that I always really struggle with. Even when I think I've got it, I know I haven't got it. So I love having different points of view and having an editor who will sort of say, oh, what about this, what about that? And you know, my editor, one of my Victorias, will kind of offer some questions about how has this affected her, and then she'll answer her own question, which is I love, because otherwise I'm like, oh, I don't know. And so she'll sort of give me 4 or 5 sort of alternatives or some suggestions, you know, maybe this could have happened, or maybe that could happen, or how does she feel about that? So I really like sort of chatting through that sort of idea, because even if you don't take something that they've suggested, you can, it sparks an idea, which I just need that. So things like my series that I'm writing is quite a new thing for me, because I've never done a series before. I've only ever done one-off standalone books. So, and they've always been, you know, either historical or dual narrative, or under my Elcock name, I write contemporary. So I've never sort of made a set of characters flow from one novel to the next, which is what I'm doing with this series, this historical series, which is dual narrative. So bit in the present, bit in the past, and it's set in 1941 in Singapore, and also in present day in Cornwall, and it's about sort of how those characters' lives mirror each other. So I'm really excited. I've written the first one, and I've absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to get going on the second one. But obviously first, huge big structural edits, which are going to take me about a month, I think, to go from start to finish. So I've got things like, you know, notes of it, make it clear that she's kind of angry to be home. That's sort of the present day character. She's coming home after after something's happened to her in Singapore, back to Cornwall, and then, you know, how do we make everything just a bit more immediate? Also bringing in things like Cornish references, like making it really clear, why are we in Cornwall? Why is the novel set there? What is it? Just because I like it? It is just because I like it. But we're, you know, making it really just a pure, beautiful destination, so that Singapore is a huge destination for the novel, and you really feel the sense of that. And then also the same with Cornwall as well. So kind of drip feeding things in there. So yeah, I've really kind of, the notes were really good. The meeting was really good, and I've kind of come away a bit renewed, which I'm really looking forward to sort of diving in. And I've got like a sheet of things written down, and I've absolutely sort of scribbled all over this document. So I'm kind of looking forward to kind of sitting on that for a bit, having a think about what to do, and then kind of going to the start of the document and literally just scrolling and finding places to tweak certain things. So that's going to be quite the job for the next month, but I am looking forward to doing that. I'm writing a novel for Penguin Century, which is under my Elcock name, and that's due in end of February. So I'm on a first draft for that. So I'm kind of coming to a little pause on that just while I launch back into doing edits. I really like to do something in one big go. So when it's edits, I love to just kind of immerse myself fully in it and just really live and breathe and feel those characters. So I'm not really good at sort of stopping and then the next day I'll go and write a bit more of a different book. I'm like, I just can't do that. I have this huge tunnel vision. I just need to kind of get on with it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But not today. Not today. I'm just going to sit on the notes for a bit, let everything sort of simmer. And then I'm going to, this afternoon, my big reading afternoon is that I am reading a novel, an unpublished manuscript from the Romantic Novelist Association New Writers Scheme. So somebody has submitted a novel. I've done 3 or 4 already. I think this is probably the last one I'll do for the year, because I think applications have closed. And although, you know, sometimes you'll know who your reader is, but it is usually anonymous. So I won't say who I'm reading for, but it's an unpublished novel, an unpublished novelist, and I give sort of feedback based on sort of the structural edits that I receive and things that I've been told and taught through sort of 6-7 years of writing, you know, just all the things that I probably, you know, need a little bit of help with, the things that I try and remember for other people, like, you know, things like show and don't tell, and things like, you know, just making sure characters' backstories like are believable, and that their baggage and their trauma is something that people will not either find too offensive, because that's something you have to watch out for, or, you know, that it is all just quite believable, and just how it flows, and how I just read it as if I'm reading a novel, and I think, oh no, maybe that doesn't work, or maybe this doesn't work. But as with any edit, when I sort of write my report, which I need to do, I've got half the novel left to go, so I think I'll probably finish that today. And then I'll write my report, and in the same way I would receive a structural edit, and yeah, hopefully offer some hints, some tips, some advice, and then let that reader go away and percolate on that and see how they feel. And what is going to be really lovely over the next sort of few months, and maybe even a couple of years, is to sort of watch the people who I've manuscript critiqued for silently and anonymously, and see how they get on with their book. Some have been so exceptional. I think I've had to write the words like, you're nearly there. You're not far away from being so ready to go, so ready to submit to agents, to editors. And I get quite a thrill from that. I get a thrill from helping people, but I really get excited when I think, oh, I think this book's doing really well. It's going to do really well. I can see it coming. So this afternoon I've got to read that, which I'm looking forward to cozying up with a cup of tea and getting on with that. And then after that, I have got some reading, which I'm not sure I'm going to have time for this today, but I might have to do it tomorrow. So I'm part of a writing club, and we meet once a month, and we submit chapters to each other, and there's 7 of us, and we're all writing very different things. Some are doing historical, some are doing contemporary, some doing small town American romance, which is just lovely. I just love that. We've got some very literary fiction and some very romantic stuff, and I love it. I love the sort of the variety. We have some do short stories. It's brilliant. So we meet once a month, and it's I host here, and I'm going to make some cake for that. I'm going to attempt to make a pumpkin pie because it is still autumn. I am hanging on to the fact it is still autumn. And then then we are going to meet and discuss each other's chapters and kind of offer hints and tips and feedback. And we've been doing it for a long time, I think 5 or so years. So we're all really we're we don't really need to say much to each other anymore. It's all just more sort of cake club, which is lovely. But everybody's so kind of advanced now in their level of how they all write, that we are just kind of a happy little writing club where we just read each other's chapters and we just follow the stories along. So it's great. And we've got some people who write so fast that we never see an entire book, because, you know, you get 4 chapters and then they're publish their book, and then you kind of have to leave a book there, which is very good. It's a bit teasy because then I then have to go and buy their book, which I love. And then we've got some people who've been writing a book or 2 over the last 5 years, and it's just been lovely to sort of see how then when they edit and go back to the start and you get to read bits of that again to sort of see how well everyone's progressed. So yeah, so that is my very ready day today, which I'm really looking forward to. But I think it's going to be a bit dreary weather-wise, so I'm going to make sure I take the dogs out now and go and see this museum and see if this is open, and just kind of get some historical inspiration and just look at pretty artifacts, and I'll take you along with me and take the dogs for a walk. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do now. I'm just back from a lovely stomp around Lee, the fishing village of Lee where I live. It's really, really pretty. It's very, very, very chilly out there today. But I just went in that lovely little museum and it's really sweet because it's got a really beautiful 19th century fisherman's cottage, which you can wander around and they let dogs in, which is very sweet. So if you're ever in Leigh-on-Sea in Essex, then do go into Old Lee and have a look around there. It's really pretty. I picked up a few things when I was down there. I picked up this, which they're giving away for free, which I thought was lovely. So I just left a donation instead, which is super sweet. I had a quick flick through to have a look at some of the stories that are in there. It's really lovely. It's really glossy and in colour, and just sort of takes you back through the ages of Lee and sort of some of the World War II memories, like the V Party Day that they had. So I'm really looking forward to having a read of that. I also picked up this, which is a strange thing to pick up, but we have the Brent geese come to us every year down in Lee, and I can never work out where they're going to and where they're going from, but they only stay for a short while and then they fly off again. So I'm going to flick through this and see where they're coming and where they're going. And then these really 2 little pretty cards. So I'm feeling like Christmas is around the corner, so I'm going to use those. And then I went afterwards up into town and went to a charity shop just to have a look at some of the books they had. And I managed to pick up this, Laura Shepherd Robinson's Daughters of Night, for £1. Amazing. I'm so excited. I haven't read any Laura Shepherd Robinson, so I'm really excited to dip in. So if you have, then let me know which ones you've read and what you thought. It'd be nice to get some recommendations. So yeah, that was my little stomp around in Lee. I'm just going to go and cozy up on the sofa now with a big cup of tea. And with the manuscript for the Romantic Novelist Association, I need to read, and I'm very much looking forward to finishing that book because it's a lovely, lovely manuscript. I'm really enjoying reading it, and I can't wait to give some good feedback and hopefully encourage the author on in their journey. But that's it for me today. That was very much a sort of reading day rather than a writing day. But if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, then hit subscribe. And thanks very much for watching. See you in the next one.